Breaking news in the WWE Universe. Nick Aldis just made the most shocking decision of his tenure as SmackDown General Manager, and Drew McIntyre's WWE career might never be the same. What led to this nuclear moment? Why now? And what does this mean for the Scottish Warrior's future? Stay tuned because we're breaking down everything. Welcome back to Wrestling vs. CC, where we bring you the biggest news, analysis, and breakdowns in the wrestling world. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a moment of the action. Alright, wrestling fans, let's get right into it. Nick Aldis, the man who's been steering SmackDown with an iron fist since taking over as general manager, just dropped an absolute bombshell that has the entire WWE Universe in complete shock. In a stunning turn of events, Aldis made the unprecedented decision to terminate Drew McIntyre's WWE contract. Yes, you heard that right. The three-time WWE champion, one of the most dominant forces in WWE over the past 5 years, has had his contract cut by SmackDown management. Now, before we dive into the why and the how, let's talk about what this actually means. Contract terminations in WWE are rare. We're talking once in a blue moon rare. This isn't a suspension. This isn't a storyline firing where someone comes back next week. According to reports and official WWE statements, this is Aldis exercising his authority to remove Drew McIntyre from the SmackDown roster, potentially from WWE altogether. The shockwaves from this decision are being felt across the entire industry. Social media exploded within minutes of the announcement. Fans, wrestlers, analysts, everyone is asking the same questions. How did we get here? What pushed Nick Aldis to this extreme measure? And most importantly, what's next for the Scottish Warrior? To understand this moment, we need to rewind and look at the series of events that led to this breaking point. Because trust me, this didn't happen overnight. Over the past several months, Drew McIntyre has been on an absolute rampage. We're talking about a man who's been pushed to his limits, who's felt disrespected, overlooked, and frankly, held back. Remember his epic battles, his quest for championship glory, the frustration that's been building every single week. Drew has been vocal, very vocal, about what he perceives as injustices in WWE. He's called out management. He's gone after fellow superstars with reckless abandon. He's crossed lines that even the most rebellious wrestlers wouldn't dare cross. Now, enter Nick Aldis. The former NWA World Champion came into WWE with a reputation as a no-nonsense leader. He's made it clear from day one, SmackDown runs by his rules. Respect the brand, respect the roster, and respect authority, or face the consequences. Drew McIntyre. He's been doing the opposite. Week after week, we've seen the tension escalate. Backstage confrontations, public callouts. Drew literally getting in Aldis's face and daring him to do something about it. But here's where things went from tense to nuclear. In recent weeks, Drew's actions became completely unacceptable. Whether it was attacking superstars outside of sanctioned matches, refusing to follow direct orders, or causing chaos that put other performers at risk, Drew was playing with fire. And last week, that was the breaking point. Drew crossed a line that Aldis simply could not ignore. The disrespect reached a boiling point, and in Aldis's mind, there was only one solution left. Now, let's talk about Nick Aldis for a moment, because his perspective in this situation is crucial to understanding the full story. Nick Aldis didn't take the SmackDown General Manager role to be a pushover. This is a man who carried the NWA on his back for years. He understands legacy. He understands what it means to represent a brand, and he understands that chaos cannot be tolerated. From Aldis's viewpoint, Drew McIntyre had become a liability, not just to the locker room, not just to the show's format, but to the integrity of SmackDown itself. When you have a superstar, no matter how talented, who refuses to follow the rules, who undermines authority at every turn, and who creates an environment of unpredictability, tough decisions have to be made. Aldis reportedly made a statement following the contract termination, and his words were powerful. He emphasized that SmackDown is bigger than any one individual. That no superstar, regardless of their accomplishments, is above the standards and expectations of the brand. And that his job is to protect the integrity of the show, even if it means making the hardest decision of his tenure. This move sends a clear message to the entire WWE roster. There are boundaries. There are consequences. And Nick Aldis is willing to make the tough calls that previous authority figures might have hesitated on. But here's the thing. While Aldis may feel justified, the WWE Universe is divided. And that brings us to the big question. The wrestling world has been set ablaze with reactions to this news, and folks, the fanbase is absolutely split down the middle. On one side, you have the Drew McIntyre faithful, and they are furious. These fans argue that Drew has earned the right to express himself. He's a multi-time champion. He's main evented WrestleMania. He's one of WWE's biggest stars. They see this as management once again holding down a top talent, stifling his passion, and making an example out of someone who dared to speak up. Social media is flooded with hashtags supporting Drew. Fans are calling for his reinstatement. Some are even threatening to boycott SmackDown if this decision stands. On the flip side, there's a significant portion of the audience backing Nick Aldis. These fans appreciate structure. They believe that no superstar should be above the rules, and that Drew's behavior had genuinely crossed into unprofessional territory. They argue that Aldis is doing his job, maintaining order and setting standards. Fellow wrestlers have been cautiously commenting on the situation. Some have shown support for Drew, talking about the pressures and frustrations of life in WWE. Others have remained diplomatic, acknowledging that both sides have valid points. Wrestling journalists and analysts are having a field day with this story. Everyone's trying to figure out if this is a work, a shoot, or something in between. And honestly, that's what makes this so compelling. Alright, now for the million-dollar question. What happens next? Where does Drew McIntyre go from here? What does this mean for SmackDown? Let's break down the possible scenarios. First possibility. This could be the setup for a massive redemption story. Drew could fight to get his contract reinstated. Maybe he has to meet certain conditions. Maybe he has to go through a series of challenges or prove himself worthy of returning. We could see a humble Drew McIntyre coming back with a new perspective, leading to an even bigger moment down the line. Second option. Drew becomes a free agent. Imagine the possibilities here. Raw could be courting him. Other promotions could be interested. This could spark a bidding war storyline where Drew becomes the most sought-after commodity in wrestling. The drama, the intrigue, the possibilities are endless. Third scenario. This fuels an epic rivalry between Drew and Nick Aldis himself. Maybe Drew finds a way back and makes Aldis's life hell. Maybe we get a match somewhere down the line. Authority figure versus superstar rivalries have given us some of the greatest moments in WWE history. Could this be the next chapter in that legacy? And finally, and this is the wild card, what if this is real? What if Drew McIntyre actually parts ways with WWE? The wrestling landscape is different now. There are options. AEW, NJPW, the independent scene. Drew could succeed anywhere. While we hope this isn't the case, it's a possibility we can't ignore. Rumors are already swirling. Insiders are reporting that negotiations are happening behind the scenes. Some say this is all part of a carefully crafted storyline. Others suggest there's legitimate heat. The truth? We'll have to wait and see. What we do know is that WWE rarely lets top talent walk away without exhausting every option. Drew McIntyre is money. He's a draw. He's valuable. Whether this is part of a story or a real situation, you can bet WWE is playing this very strategically. So there you have it, wrestling fans, the complete breakdown of Nick Aldis cutting Drew McIntyre's WWE contract. A decision that has shocked the world, divided the fanbase, and set the stage for what could be one of the most compelling storylines of the year. Now, we want to hear from you. Do you think Nick Aldis made the right call? Should Drew McIntyre be reinstated? What do you think happens next? Drop your thoughts, theories, and predictions in the comments below. Let's get a conversation going. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to WrestlingVerse CC for more wrestling news, analysis, and content, and hit the notification bell so you're always first to know when we drop new videos. This is a developing story, and you know we'll be following every twist and turn. The wrestling world never stops, and neither do we. Until next time, wrestling fans, stay passionate, stay informed, and remember, In the world of WWE, anything can happen. This is Wrestling vs. CC, and we'll catch you in the next one.